I have been dating a man who is divorced for about 10 months now, and he has 3 kids. And I met the kids about 6 months ago or so. And as I'm spending more time with the kids and him and his parents, I'm realizing that we have very different parenting styles, and I am trying to figure out the longevity of things and if this can work long term and how to move forward with that.
Ooh, good one. All right. Do you have kids too?
I do not.
Okay.
So I was married for 7 years. It was a traumatic marriage.
Okay.
And because he turned out to be an addict, and I was determined that I wasn't going to have kids with him until he got clean, and he never did. So
Gotcha.
I do not have children, but I always wanted to be a mom.
Okay, so A, I'm glad that you're safe, and B, I'm glad that you made the choices that you made. That's very wise. So good on you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I play the Devil's Advocate challenge game with you? Is that cool? Meaning,
Of course, I like that game.
can I poke at you a bit and then you challenge me back? Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm always fascinated by people who disagree with somebody doing a thing when they have never done that thing.
That's fair.
Let me ask you, in that same vein, you have a guy who's got 3 kids, he's parenting them, and you say, I've got different parenting styles when you've never parented. Tell me about that.
So I'm a few classes away from a bachelor's degree in child development with a minor in psychology.
Oh, no.
And
Y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst.
And I was in childcare for about 10 years.
Okay.
So I no, I have never birthed a child, and no, I've never been able to claim a child as mine, but I have been around children a lot, and I have disciplined and parented and all of the things. I'm very close to my nieces and nephews. I, have babysat a lot with them and was a nanny for several years. So
you have a lot of lived
completely
experience.
Understand. I have a lot more lived experience than I would say the quote unquote average quote unquote stepmom, which I am not as of yet, comes in and says, oh, well, you're doing it all wrong. And I don't think he's doing it all wrong. I just think there are a few things that I disagree with, like spanking.
Okay, so
I just don't feel like I can discipline in the same way as him. Like, I want to come in and support what he's doing, but I don't feel like I can do that.
So give me a couple. So A, great answer. Great answer. If you had just stopped with, I'm getting a bachelor's degree in childhood development, I would have passed out. I just would have banged my head on the counter and gone to sleep. And you know this, I'm saying this to everybody out there. There's a huge difference between knowing about a thing and experiencing a thing. Huge difference.
Absolutely.
Right? And so good on you. And you've got a ton of experience. And here's why I love your experience. You have a ton of experience with a ton of different kids. Meaning,
yes, I do.
There's different ways that different kids need to be parented, need to be disciplined, need to be coached, need to be loved. And you begin to see some commonalities across that begin to say, like, hey, there's some universal truths here. So give me 3 things that you just are like, ugh, I couldn't support this guy that I'm falling in love with. I couldn't support him in how he handles his kids. This is an ad for BetterHelp. I talk to hurting people for a living, and yes, I can help out folks in tiny chunks of time here on the internets, but often more help is needed. That's why I recommend people go to therapy. And if you're thinking about therapy, try BetterHelp. It's 100% online, so it's affordable and convenient. They've got over 30,000 therapists, and they're great at finding just the right one for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Delony for 10% off your first month. Give me 3 things that you just are like, ugh, I couldn't support this guy that I'm falling in love with. I couldn't support him in how he handles his kids.
The spanking as discipline. Okay. So he, both him and his parents, he's living with his parents right now as he's building a home. And between like academic studies and lived experience and my own personal experience. My parents spanked us when we were little. That's just not something that I can do to a child, and that's not something that it's hard for me to be around.
Yes.
Especially, and it's not that it is always, but especially if it's done in anger.
There you go.
And frustration.
Yes.
There's a difference between, oh, I hate that I'm doing this, or, oh, I'm smacking your hand to get away from the hot stove, or something, versus you are ticking me off and I've told you 5 times and now I'm frustrated and now I'm going to spank you to get you out of this situation. I just feel like there's a difference in that.
Yes, I think you're 1,000,000% accurate. And I would frame spanking somebody's hand away versus I'm hitting you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And so, and that's even different than the discussion of there's a consequence, yada, yada, yada. We can have that conversation. I don't want to get into...
Yeah, I'm not talking about like spoiling and having no discipline.
No. I totally hear that. I totally hear that. Here's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one.
Okay.
Let's just pause there. And for everybody listening who wants to get my take on it, I'm not going to give that because that's not the point of this. I have some very strong opinions on it, but not the point. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I want you to begin to say, hey, I'm falling for this guy, but here's some things that violate my values, okay? So like spanking, hitting, like what's the next one?
I think he's bargaining with his kids.
Tell me about that.
To try to get good behavior. So when kids don't get what they want, which every kid throws a fit when they don't get what they want.
Of course, that's what they're supposed to do. They're kids. They're trying to learn how to regulate their nervous systems. Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. He goes kind of into bargaining mode, and it's like asking the kids questions that isn't a question. Like, do you want to take a shower right now? Well, you have to take a shower right now. Well, don't frame it as a question then.
Right.
It's like, we're going to take a shower in 5 minutes. Do you want to turn the shower on or do you want me to turn the shower on?
There you go. Yes. And what you just said was world-class parenting. Like, this thing is happening, and I'm going to let you practice choosing between this reality.
Yeah, it's like you come up with what you think are great alternatives. You're okay with this or this, and then you present those things. You don't ask them if this is okay, because the power should not be in an 8-year-old's hands.
Amen. And so when you have sat down and talked to him about this, what has his response been?
So I brought it up a few months ago saying, hey, I'm not here to come in and be the parent and all the things. It's like, I'm here to support whatever rules you and your parents want to have for the kids when I'm around. I was like, but that kind of discipline I won't do. And he was totally understanding about that. No issues. And then when I brought it up just in the last week or two of, hey, this really bothers me, and it makes me question the longevity of this.
Of your relationship?
Yes.
Good for you.
And he said, so what is it? So he didn't get upset. He just asked, he's like, so tell me more. And so I was like, look, I came from a home where I equated a man that was bigger than me. Say he loved me 1 minute and hit me the next.
Correct.
And I grew up thinking as a woman that a man can hurt me, whether physically or emotionally or psychologically, and love me at the same time.
Correct.
And that led me to some horrible things.
And the reverse for men is, I love you and I'm hitting you out of anger. Equates to inner rage and shame in adult men. Yeah. That's what the research says.
And so I just said, so that is my fear. I'm afraid that you are teaching your girls that someone bigger than them can love them and can cause them pain. And I was like, I don't want bad things for them, but I also want to caution you about this.
And what did he say?
And he had tears in his eyes, and he said, "You're right."
Okay.
He's like, I have to do better, and I want to do better. He's like, but there are times I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're right. Sometimes I act without thinking, and we have to find a better way." And so we have talked about having like a family meeting and all having the same rules and all kinds of things. And there's a really good co-parenting relationship between everybody. And
so here's what I would tell you. Here's what I would tell you.
Okay.
That type of response, I'll take all day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And I don't think my personal belief is I don't think his behavior change will come from a parenting book. His behavior change is learning to regulate his adult emotions. That there is no way a child can get me so out of control that I have to hit them out of anger to get them to do what I want.
Yeah.
Now the next truth is, what is action going to look like, right? What is behavior is a language? What is he going to go do next? And so co-parenting, great. Y'all talking about things, great. If I'm you, I would say, hey, I'm going to go see somebody, and you probably are continuing to see somebody. I want you to go see somebody because I want that nuclear reactor in your chest to dissipate. Your kids aren't going to have access to that. And if it does happen, by the way, I'm not a robot. I do get set off. I do get angry. I've got a set of, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to start singing real loud. I'm going to tell my kids, I need 5 minutes and I'll be back. And that's them witnessing their dad emotionally regulating himself in real time. That's a gift to my kids. And same here, but you got to learn how to do that. And that's just hard. You have to it's an ego-free process. You have to commit to saying, there's a set of skills that I don't have. And I want to learn to control this. And my goodness, he's got somebody like you in his corner, which is just amazing. So we covered a lot here. All I have to say is you continuing to speak your values and say, I can't be a part of this and I won't be a part of this is such a powerful thing. And him saying, I want to get better at this. I want to be a part of this with you. And will you walk alongside me? That's what that's the stuff good relationships are made of. It's amazing. And now the proof is going to be in the work that happens next. So high five to you, Jay, all across the board. Get that degree and keep going, man. The world needs people like you out in the world affecting positive change. And, man, it sounds like this guy won the lottery with you. And if he continues to be a guy that wants to get better, and by the way, there's going to be things you need to get better at, right? He's going to help you. But if he continues to say, you're right, I want to get better, and I'm going to go put my words into action, man, that's the good stuff.